Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back again. And today we will have three parties from Park Jaeกับเรา Personage and Central, right? Yeah, so please, President candidate, can you open your video camera?
Okay, let's finish the first section of introduction, and we will go on to the policies of each parties. Let's start with Central from Gegi. Can you tell us your first policy?
So our first policy is hair color. We are intend to allow students to dye any hair colors to school to express themselves and to gain more confidence because it's more likely to become motivated in doing daily activities and have a better well-being overall for students. So this is my first policy.
Can you explain more about it?
Oh, okay. So there has not been any scientific research that correlates to the students' academic performance with dyeing your hair. And no health and safety issues regarding hair dye. So the brain or skin absorbs the hair dye colors, nor do they damage or cause any cells to malfunction. And students see hair dye as a way to express themselves through their outward appearances. Nowadays, appearances are now ever so important, and dyeing their hair will enable students to gain more confidence. People tend to have an increase in confidence if they are allowed to fully express themselves, whether it is clothing choices, music, or hair color. Students with self-confidence are more likely to become motivated in doing daily activities and become braver.
Okay, are there any questions for these policies?
I think there are one question from Lisa, right? You can turn on your mic.
Some question. So I have heard about these policies for many years. And as we know, this policy is really challenging because it doesn't depend on our school. It depends on the university, right? And yeah, and I know that the senior 04 already do these policies before, but the most they can do is dyeing hair to brown color. How would you change the university's policy? Because we have to admit that student council consists only 5 students. Compared to the university, it's like different scale.
Okay, so to approach this problem, first we must all agree that it's only student voices against the university. So we must take a bigger step in order to change what it's always used to be. As a result, we must act fast to make a proposal to the school and arrange a meeting with the school board director. MUIDS is not directly dependent on the university, but the international college. As a student of MUIDS, a demonstration school here, we are not bound by the university rules, but we are taught in the environment and with the mindset of becoming students who will eventually live in the international community. So to quote a lecturer from International Relations and Global Affairs from MUIC, how the students dress does not affect their students' performance. Human rights treaties exist to protect people's rights. So MUIDS teaches their students to protect their rights, right? And not only from people, but from the authority as well. We must make the statement clear that to the school and work deliberately to protect students' rights.
Can I add on to my
Yes.
question? So you said that you're going to write a proposal, right? But you know the
Yes.
fact that every year that when the school council write a proposal, it doesn't change the university policies. And how and or what way or what form of proposal would you write to the university?
Give me a minute to think about it. So first of all, we are not writing the proposal to the university. We are writing the proposal to the school and talk with the board director of the school and have a meeting with them to talk about these rules that we want to change. And we have to have meeting and talk things out clearly so they can understand our point instead of writing the proposal to the university.
Okay, you are saying that you're going to talk with the school. And how or what way would you change the school mind? Because like every year that we're going to do this policy, we talk with the school and it's never worked out. So will you make any differences or like giving research or experiments that prove your policies?
So like I said, MUIDS is not directly dependent to the university. So we can express ourselves and send the proposal to the school and writing our true intentions about hair colors and about how there's no scientific research regarding to hair dye. MUIDS is a science school, but they are believing something that is not up to science. So we can use that point to propose it.
Okay.
Okay, so if there's no more questions, so we'll continue with the first policy from Pak Chai Kaprao Party. Lisa, can you tell us your first policy, please?
So for our first policy, it's about the neutral gender uniform. Actually, it's one of the requests by the Naklien Leos group that we should give the freedom for the students to choose between wearing skirts or pants. And the Naklien Leos request is not based on one group of students. It's based on the entire country. It's shown that it's one of the biggest educational system about Thailand, that it's one of the problem. And yeah, so in this policy, I want to like support the gender equality and LGBTQ+. So the students are free to choose between wearing pants or skirt with the trending issues in our society about sex oppression and discrimination. Stereotypes of each sex should be eliminated because we have to admit that still in our society, we still stereotype that masculine person have to wear like pants and feminine one have to wear skirts, with which should like eliminate that stereotype. And with the freedom of students, it would eventually support the LGBTQ+ students, as well as constructing an equal society inside the school. And beside the LGBTQ+ topic, I used to discuss with my friends. She said that she wants to wear pants to school. It not because she wants to be a man or she wants to be a tomboy, but she said that it's more convenient and more comfortable for her. if she can wear pants, she don't have to be aware about her skirts, or she can do any activities immediately like playing sports or go dancing without wasting her time changing her uniform.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. So, are there any questions?
Yes, I
Oh, okay, now you can go. Go ahead, it's okay.
okay. So you're Lisa, you are saying that you are going to make a rules that allow everyone can wear the wanted uniform, right?
Mhm.
So actually, our school doesn't have this rule that strict to the uniform. Actually, everyone can wear anything they want, but it just no one ever do that, so no one's know it. So isn't it better to encourage people to wear like the different uniforms from the gender rather than make it a rules?
Okay, so you said that no one know, right? The point that no one knows because never, not because no one mentioned about it. And I think because no one mentioned about it, it's made not like not every students are brave enough to wear it. Making a rules is like some sort of telling that, hey, you are allowed to wear any gender uniform. Because me as a maybe as students, I stay here for 2 years, but no one ever mentioned about this. Making it as a rule is like telling them that, hey, you are allowed, and like remind them about the school already have like freedom for students to wear, right?
So why didn't you bring up other policies and work to encourage about this notion instead? Just encourage them and not making a rule.
Well, I will talk about that later, but oh, sorry, not later, but making it as a rule is like encourage it, the students. Yeah.
How about bringing up other policies that also benefit the school too and encourage this as a subtopic within the school?
As I just mentioned, if it's not the school's policy, no one's know. Like, how would I like go tell the students, even though like the school never announced anything about the neutral gender uniform? Encourage people might not be that effective compared to it as a school's rule, right?
Some of the school rules, some students don't even know about it. So why don't you like send the poster that you make in the line group instead? It may be easier for everyone to see it and share with their friends.
Oh, so I already promote my policies, so I think it's already like inform many students, especially for my poster.
Yeah, that's why you can share this idea into your line group instead of making a policy, because it can allows more people to see it instead of making a policies that can maybe not sure that it must be a policy or not.
Grace, what do you think about it? Because you have the LGBT neutral gender uniform policy too.
I think what's your question again?
Okay, sorry to interrupt. I think this policy might be debated later because we're not at her other policy about uniform yet. Well, should we move on to other policies?
Anyone has question to like
about this?
If there is no one have any question more, so we're gonna move to Grace. the first policy from your team? Yeah.
So our first policy is late Monday and late Wednesday. I know that a lot of you guys will might feel lazy on Monday. So if we have late Monday, so the student will have a great start of the week. The student will refreshing and effective. And also like because of Saturday and Sunday, a lot of you guys might study for SAT.
Any
Math.
participants has question about Nomisa's first policy?
Hi, sorry, but I think it's already done.
Okay, we'll move on to
Yeah.
the
No, Grace, you can go on
Yeah.
with your policy.
Okay, so on Saturday and Sunday, most of you guys, like students, might study for SAT and BMAT, or like IELTS, or even like study for the subject for the school. Yeah, and sometimes it have a lot of homework. So late Monday can let students have more time to sleep, and it will make your day more effective and have quality. Because of, and also
Okay,
based on
sorry
our
for my confusion. Next, we'll go to the second policies of non-teaching policies.
No, hi. Let Grace finish her first policy first, and then go with Gigi, right? Grace, did you finish your first policy?
no, I'm not finished.
Go on.
Okay, based on our experience in Thai society, like Monday is a day that have a traffic jam. Yeah, so this can decrease the rate of late students. Yeah, finish.
Okay, so are there any questions for these policies?
Yeah.
Oh, let's Lisa first and then Gigi.
Okay, so I think this is a very interesting policy, but I have some few questions for Grace. So if the school start late, you're going to use Wednesday schedule, or would the school end late?
We were gonna use Wednesday schedule, same schedule.
Okay, using Wednesday schedule means that it will decrease your school hours, right? But we still have to pay the same tuition fee. And if we calculate the hours that we like miss, it's a lot. How would you deal with that situation?
Let me think about this. Like we can increase the the sleep time, yeah, for both teachers and student instead of like study, because as you guys know that our schools like have a lot of homework, so I think the sleep hours quite important. Yeah.
Okay, I understand the fact of like sleeping time, but okay, for Wednesday, late Wednesday, you only have Tuesday night to do your work and finish like your tutoring or whatsoever. But for Monday, you have Friday night, entire Saturday, and entire Sunday. You have almost 3 full day, right? I know that some of you guys have tutoring and whatsoever, but I think it depends on your time management too. You have to admit the fact that even though they have less work, but if they cannot manage their time well, they have to do it last minute. And I think it's better for the students to practice their time management skill, because it can build a habit for them. You know, like in the future, you're in your university life or your career life, the schedule is more like, it's not this flexible and it's more strict, and you cannot like build your habit like rapidly immediately. When you grow up, you have to like start it now to be a good habit for you.
So on Saturday we have a male that have need to go to like study law. Yeah, and I think that this group of people will cannot like have much time to do homework. Yeah, I think that it is kind of, if we add a time for the group of students, like for our OTC, like this will be better. Yep.
But they still have Friday nights and like Saturday night and Sunday to do those work.
Like as I say that we should have enough time to sleep. Like, yeah, Friday night, Sunday, and Saturday is kind of like have a lot of time, but um, we need to have like to have enough time to sleep. Like some of people like have a lot of work in each day, so I think that it will be better if we increase the time for them. Yeah.
But don't you remember that the ROTC is in the curriculum? So it's like some sort of work. As I do, it's going to come back to the time management topic. And what do you think about the time management? You know, like what I just mentioned earlier, that if even though they don't have ROTC or a lot of work, but if they have problem managing their time, it's going to be the same, and this won't benefit the students at all.
Okay, so like I understand that they need to manage their time, but like if we cut out the work things like that, we need to meet the traffic jam on the Monday morning too. Yeah, because like if we focus on traffic jam is quite out of our control. So like that's like also have another factor that we cannot manage, like the traffic jam, something like that.
I have more question about this policy.
Go on, Gegi.
So do you think the school will be able to manage the lesson hours of studying?
I think yes.
How?
Um, because like we increase only one day and the schedule is kind of same with Wednesday. Like that.
How about the homeroom that's gone?
The homeroom. First of all, I have to say that the important news that we need to know. So we have a line group, so we can send it through line group.
Me as one of the embedded students, we have to admit that not all students open the line group. I think the homeroom is might be more effective to announce news about the school.
Like, but we also have 3 days left. Yeah, so we can use the left 3 days to announce. I think it is enough.
Anyone has a question? You can raise your hand. Feel free to raise your hand. If no, we're gonna move to the next policy from Central. Okay, Titi, can you please introduce your second policies and briefly explain about it?
So our second policy is community service. So due to the COVID-19 situation, students struggle to participate in any kind of interactive community service activities, and this had made an absolute challenge for MUIDS students to collect those hours in need. And by this, we decided to allow students to be able to get the hours within the school days. MUIS has a tight curriculum and schedule, and many staff, whether it's teachers, student affairs, or librarians, they are struggle to keep their workloads in line with the school's requirements. And why not let the students help them instead? And not only students could gain community service hours, but also experiences. They could also earn the skill of life or even understand how hard or tough the work could be.
Okay. I think there are one participants who want to ask your about your policies. So I'm gonna ask Bobby to unmute your microphone and you can speak now.
I want to know, like, what if student doesn't work very well with that job? For example, some people, maybe some students want to help the maids, like cleaning the room. And what if the student take so much time or add, like, increase more loads to the maid? Isn't it like, how do you solve this problem?
So there will be evaluation form for the teacher or the staff to take. We will make a form for the staff, and the only thing they have to do is evaluate the student and take the box on the paper. Yeah.
Bobby, do you have anything to say or your question is finished?
My question is finished.
Okay, so I just saw Lisa, right? You raised your hand, right? Do you have any question?
Okay, I like the idea of community service hour stuff, but as I know that last year there's some team that promote like policy similar to this, like doing community service, but I think the COVID-19 might affect this policy because, as you say, that it has to interact with other staffs, and according to the numbers of the infected COVID-19 that grew every day, and the situation seems like it's not going to get better soon. But how do you do like this, or do you have any ways to control?
So we have a prior list, like before every times that students are going to do the work, the staff or the teachers will teach them first. And because of last year's, the proposal is already approved, but because the COVID-19, we have to have online learning instead of on-site. So there's no chance for students to do those works. But if we have a chance to get back, we can let students to sign in for the work and let the staff teach them before the work, so it can finish not taking a very long time. Yes.
Lisa, you want to ask more, right? You can unmute you.
Okay, but I would like to focus about the COVID-19. As I just mentioned, the situation is getting worse. Won't you think the school allow these policies to approve? It's like getting worse and there is no sign of getting better like real soon.
We can work online, like we don't have to be in the place to do all the papers, to like move around or interact with anyone. We can, if it's paper documents, we can help the staff to organize it instead of going on site and meet. everyone and expose the risk of having COVID-19.
Can I say it now? Okay. So if you say like dealing with documents, I think something that deal with the documents, it might be like delicate work that require like professional to do, because if the document have any error, how would the students can responsible with it?
I mean, just organize it, like group it, not go inside and do anything inside. Like, that's why we have to talk to the teachers first about what students have to do, not just like giving them work and not care about what actually they have to do in detail.
And can I add something? So how many available seats are like for the community service hour? Like how many students will be attended in this policy?
Per month, it might be about maybe 30 people per month, and each department will have like maybe 5 people to help with the staff. And we are thinking of if in January someone already worked in this month, in February they cannot work twice, but they can work again on March. So we can give everyone's opportunities to do the work and gain hours.
Okay, so 30 students compared to the amount of students that are lack of community service hour, it's a very small group of students. What is the criteria, or will you open like Google form or something to let the students like first come first serve? What system will you let the students sign this campaign?
Yeah, it will be Google form, and there are also red cards where students can participate in activities and gain hours too. And it's first come first serve, yes, and it's limited number.
And last question. What activities are you planning to do?
For the activities, it will include of maybe in the nurse, where students can help to take care of the patient somehow, and in libraries to organize the books. Also in maybe math and science department, students can organize materials and things that the teachers has to teach the students on that day or the course.
Okay, sorry, it's not the last question. So if you said that the students have to help with the nurse job, and you know, like it's a big responsibility. If you help some students and they were infected, how would that students responsible? Would they pay for the medical fee, or what did they have to do next?
They are not the first hands who are going to touch the patients. They just assistant who will like bring things to the nurse, and the nurse will take the procedures, not the students.
Okay, so there are two questions, two raising hand. Kun, I will unmute your mic and you can ask the question.
Hello. So I'm going to ask you that I've already listened for a while, and you always say that first come first serve, right? But you have mentioned before that you want all the students to do this, and this policy is for everyone. So how are you gonna manage this? Like, I think it's not adequate for all the students.
As I mentioned earlier, that the same student cannot do the work, the consequence, the 2 months. Like if they already did in January, they cannot do it in February for a second time. So it gives other students opportunities to do the work too. But they can do the work again in March to gain hours again.
You say that it's 30 persons, right, for per month.
Yes, around that.
For 12 months, is it adequate for all the students? Because I think
yeah, there are also red costs for students to participate in and gain hours, and we cannot promise that everyone will get hours because it's something that we just want to provide the opportunity for everyone.
and how you're gonna make your your policies like different from what Red Cross Club did before?
So it's within the school days, and we don't have to go outside of the school during the weekends. You can have more time to study SAT, IELTS, or BMAT, or whatever you need. And it's on site. It's at school, and during the school day, we can save lots of time during the weekend.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and another question from P. Okay, you can unmute your mic right now.
Hi. I just want to ask if you known about the community service club that we already have, which is like helping the librarian already with like making bookmarks, decorating the library itself. Would your policy crash into the activity that they have now?
We can have more activities other than library, like the nurse that I mentioned before, and to help with staff, the teachers in different departments, like math or science departments, instead of library only. And we can talk to the school for more works for the student to do later on.
But would this also affect the teachers that is responsible for the students themselves? This would like create more workloads for the teachers too.
The
Isn't it?
evaluation, like the only piece of work that the teacher will have to do is like take an evaluation form that is does the student did a great job, did they dedicate it enough, or whatever. They just take the form that we created and submit it.
Well, I see it's not only that when you're saying about your policy, because it says that the teacher would have to assign the students how much work they have to do as well. So they have to think of the work that the students can do and cannot do, which most of the work is done by the teacher already. So why have an assistant to help them? Because firstly, I think it will create more workload for the teacher and both the nurses as well. I think there is how do you say it, an amount of a number of nurses already. Wouldn't this be a more cluster way to be in the nurses room?
It doesn't necessarily to be in the nurse only. We can help with teachers or staff. Other than that, like different departments like math and science too. The work that we will provide will be the abundant work that teachers think that it is overwhelming, not just something they want to assign to the students.
So you mean that the work is up to the teacher as well?
Pardon?
So you mean that the work that the student will be assigned by the teachers, right? Am I correct?
Yes, and that our student government will cooperate with teachers to see what work the student should be assigned to.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I think there's no question right now. So we're gonna move on to the next team, which is Pak Chai Gap Rao. Okay, Lisa, can you please introduce your second policies and explain about it?
Okay. So my second policy is free printing with the permission slip and reducing the printing rate. I think almost everyone in this Zoom experienced these problems before, that our school have such a high printing rate, like higher than the printing shop. So yeah, so I created the idea of the permission slip, where if the permission slip were signed by the teacher, they are not required printing fees. And like for student who don't have permission slip, still the printing rate will be reduced from black and white A4 paper from 1 baht to 50 stang, and colored A4 paper will be decreased from 5 baht to 2 bahts. And you might ask about like the budget, but for me as one of the MUIDS students, I think it's one of the facilities like we should have, like some sort of like Tokotna facilities, because we pay a lot of tuition fee here. We pay like 550,000 baht for grade 10 and 350,000 baht for grade 11 and 12. Yeah, I think it's should be some facilities that are included in our tuition fee. And for if it's the permission slips have some problem, still I think reducing the printing rates are essential, because as I just mentioned earlier, that our printing rate is higher than the printing shop. And besides high tuition fee that we already pay, we have to remember the fact that the printing shop already include the profits. That's mean that MUIDS includes too much profits in our printing. And I think MUIDS is a school, a place where we should get a good education, not a place where they should find a lot of profits from student printing rate.
Okay, so there's one question from Bobby. You can like unmute your mic right now.
I think the the printer in the school library is kind of, if I'm not remember it wrong, it's laser printer, right? It's Ricoh or something like that, and the ink cost very like expensive, so you cannot compare with like the normal printing shops, for example. Like, yeah, like I think it will waste school tuition fees, school money too, because like maybe the school might not get like enough money to pay for the printing. Do you understand me, right?
Yeah, I understand you. So I used to went to printing shop with like that laser printer, and is cheaper than our school.
Okay, so Bobby, do you have like any question or anything to say? You can unmute your microphone. Okay.
No.
Okay. So if not, and there's no question left, so we're gonna move on to the last team, which is Resonate. Grace, can you please introduce your second policies and explain briefly about it?
For our second policy is same standard, same assignment, same level of test, and same duration of the work time. So we create this policy is because of to increase the equality of the work in every class to make it fair. And from our experience, we have faced the problems that another room do a project, but my room have to test. So this is kind of unfair because of like how it graded is quite different, and it it might affect the grade of the student for sure. And for the same assignment, like the final its assignment must be the same because of like for the quiz, for the exam, it should be like the same level or same standard. And the duration of the work time, this is from my own experience that my room have like 4 periods, but another room can send it at the end of semester. So I think that is kind of unfair again. Yes.
Any participants or applicants have questions regarding these policies? If yes, please. Okay, Gigi, you can go on.
So you said that we have lots of workloads, right? And you are saying that what's your solution again to this workloads in school?
Like we'll make an Excel or Google Sheets to let the teacher put the deadline like and duration of the work so students can manage their work well.
How about electives, where like now this year, like lots of different electives study in the same room, and when it's the elective time, they will be separated into different rooms. How can you solve this problem? Would it just increase the teacher's work to fill in all the Excels?
I think the teacher works is might increase, but I think it is easy for them, and this can be like create the system for the school. Yes, and like teachers and students can have more system to work easier and manage easier.
How about teachers that are responsible for many classes? Is it just like increase their work a lot?
I think it's not. It just come and type. Yes, like that is a common type, but copy paste is kind of like Excel sheets is kind of like I think it is easy for everyone to access it.
So if that teacher has like 5 classes and maybe add up to 100 students, does he or she has to fill in 100 Excels?
No, we will create one Google Sheets and in for per grade. Yeah, and it's in that Google Sheet it have a tab, so we'll divide into a section. Yeah, not like individual.
Yeah, like I said, the section there includes of many people who study different electives. So how could you categorize that?
So we'll make the different one for electives. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so I saw one participant raise his hand. So Pun, you can unmute your microphone now.
Hello. So I think that the school have already had the Google Calendar one, where they put all the assignments there, and also isn't this such system for seeing classworks like intricate for you, or have you came up with like other easier solution for this?
The things that you say, I think that the student cannot accessible, something like that. But other things that we did is like the student can access it, and the teachers also too. Yes.
I think that we already have the Google Calendar one, where I think it's kind of same as the Google Sheet, and it might be easier for the students to like. It was kind of like more accessible. Yes.
Let me think about this. But we think this can see the overall easily. Yeah. I think, the last year, like I think the Google Sheet is not used a lot. Last year I didn't see, but for our policy, I will make it to be possible, and everyone can check. Everyone can plan their work well here. Yeah, and we can check that to make sure that all assignments are the same.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next, I saw Lisa, right? Raise her hand. So, any question?
Okay, yeah, what I like to mention is what Bun just said. I think using Google Calendar is much more effective, because if the teacher add any assignment in the Google Classroom, it will appear immediately on the Google Calendar, which also save the teacher time. I think Google Sheet would make the teacher waste a little bit. Oh no, sorry, the sheet that you just mentioned, the teacher have to do like more steps, and I think it's harder to use compared to the Google Calendar.
I think Google Calendar cannot put information like the duration of the work time. So for the Google Sheets, we can see and compare to the other class that are the same or not. Yes.
It's have that function.
Like we our point is to make a stand that true. Yes.
So what is so special with? Can you list like some advantages of using the Google Sheet compared to the calendar? Because I think the Google Calendar have much more advantages than Google Sheets, and it is easily accessed compared to the sheet because you can open it from Google Classroom.
So in here, the teacher will know all the assignment that we have in each week or month. Yeah, and the advantages is I think the others, like students, can go and check like that for like for their class to compare with the other class.
Okay, so I think we should stop at this point because we almost run out of time now. So let's move on to the third policies from Central. Gigi, can you please introduce your policies and briefly explain about it?
Okay, so our third policy is advice column. So throughout the years, many students have been struggling with workloads from all subjects and also academic pressure from the teachers. So we have an idea to open a forum where students can send their feedback about both our school and student government as a way to emphasize the student body voices.
Okay, so Lisa raised her hand, so you can unmute your hand. Okay.
So I think this is a very, very interesting policy and good idea. But according to what I understand, I think it's the basic requirements of every team to be like the ตัวกลาง between the students and the school, right? I think Grace team also do too. So what is like so special about your policy?
So our party, we are planning to send Google form every month, once a month, to receive feedback from every student. It will be anonymously to receive the most honest answers. And if it's problems that relates to teachers for each subjects, we will try to talk to the head department of that teacher and try to see what we can fix for that problem.
Okay, I want to add on something. Okay. So you know that our school have concealer, right? And to be straightforward, therefore like to be safe space for every student, and compare the concealer to students. Like they know how the school work, they're more mature, they have more experiences. You think about if the students had an advice about entering university, how would you answer that? Because you are students too. But counselor can give a better explanation and advices, right?
By talking to the counselor, there are staff of the school too, and some students may not have the courage to talk to them. Maybe they are more comfortable to ask their seniors or their friends or student government who can give them answer like maybe more friendly in some way, because the counselor, they are the staff of the school, they might sometimes make the student don't have that comfortable feelings like we talk to our friends.
Okay, so if you say that talking to your friends, but you don't go talk to your friends.
Pardon?
You said that they are more comfortable talking to their friend, but they have to talk to you because they don't know who you are, right? You have 5 students, and how would they rely on you because they don't know which one of you are answering it. And as you just mentioned, they're comfortable asking advice from their friends, so they can just go asking their friends. And for some hard question like asking advice for entering university, they can just ask their counselor. So I think what is so special about your policy?
So to say that our policy, we are not giving advices, but we just talk to them and cooperate and work with the school to solve the problems like the teachers and for university topic, we may ask the counselors to like provide us some information, and we can pass on that information to the students.
Okay, so you are saying you are being ตัวกลาง It's like some sort of you are adding one extra steps instead of the students can get an immediate answer from the teacher or the counselor. They have to ask you, then you have to go ask the teacher again and go back to ask them. Wouldn't it be better if they just ask the teacher? I know about they're comfortable and they're safe, how they say, like how they feel safer. But I think asking that teacher, they learn with the teacher. They used to communicate with their teacher before, but some of the students might not ever talk to you guys before, right? And the counselor, for the first day before they entering MUIDS, they have to talk to their counselor about stating their elective. And they all know that our counselor are very friendly. So
if they don't have courage to talk to the counselor, they can come to us. And if they have the courage, they can go straight up to them. We are just the mediator for them who are not, who don't have that much of courage to ask the counselor or walk into the student service directly. They can send us the message to ask us the question or the problems that they face. And besides that, not all the student wants to talk to the counselor, sometimes including me too.
Oh, okay. So you say that the anonymous system, yeah, but can you remember that we can also email the counselor and you can use like your anonymous email and it would be much more faster than talking to you.
Anonymous email, would they actually answer it? If it's not the school email, are you sure that they will answer?
Okay.
Have you tried?
Okay.
Wow, such a far debate. I think Poon has questions, so you can unmute your microphone right now.
You say that you will be the medium, and you also have the Google form for the students to like write something down and then send it to the teachers, right? Something like that.
Submit the form and send to our student government, and we are going to look through the problems for them.
This is quite interesting policy, but I don't really know that. Have you ever known before that we have already we have already had this such system, and it didn't turn out so well. Like not all of the teachers like accept to the feedback. Yeah, it's kind of something like that.
Yeah, that's why they send feedback to us, not the teacher directly, because it's anonymously, and if it's concerns about teachers, we can try to talk to the teachers instead of them go directly to the teacher.
Isn't the system is quite intricate for this for the students?
What do you mean by that?
Like, I think it's quite complicated, kind of something like that.
How? They just submit the form. If they don't have any concerns or issues about the school, they don't have to submit it.
So you say that the difference is that it will be the anonymous, right?
Yes.
But I think that like eventually the teachers will know that the students will be from their class,
Will what? Sorry.
from their class, would be from their class.
They might not only teach one class, I guess. Or one teacher might teach more than one classes, and they wouldn't know who's the one who sent the feedback to us.
So you said, but don't you know that there are some teachers that teach only one class also, and like last year, some of my students, some of my friends say that that teachers that teach only one class have problem with the with them, with my friends, and they didn't know how to like how to tackle with these problems because they don't have much encouragement to talk to the teachers. So yeah.
Why we are the one who are going to receive the feedback and pass it on and ask the teachers instead of them. If they don't have courage to do that, we are going to do that for them.
You have to say that for the teachers who have more than one class, they will know. But for the teachers who have only one class, how do you tackle with this problem?
Lots of students, and if you're a teacher, you have to open up for the feedback of your own students in order to improve your teaching, or what's the reason why you come to teach. If you just not listen to any ideas or feedback from your own students.
You know what? Like last year, one teacher have the feedback on have their feedback on like the students on the exam, and they use one class to like blame their students about the feedback. So I think not all the teachers open up with this kind of things, you know.
We also have to cooperate with the school and talk to the school about how we can improve this. Not only the teacher, him or herself.
But how does the school will like discuss with the teacher?
That's the thing that if we are getting elected, we will be thinking about it later on.
But I think it's not the responsibility for the school to do this.
To do what? To talk to the teachers to improve their teaching?
Yeah, because we have already had these problems, and for example, me, I have already had like faced the problems, and I talked to the counselor, but the counselor said that, oh, we have already had these problems like many years ago, and yeah, just that. They also say that we have the problem, but they did not solve anything. They did not do anything. So how can you?
At least this policy let our voice be heard instead of covering it up. At least our voice and our opinion getting heard, even though it's sometimes the problem didn't get solved, it's still a starting to do something that we can use to solve the problem later on. It's a start.
Okay, so just that. Thank you.
Okay, I think we have to move on to the next team because yeah, I think this policy takes too much time. And if you guys have any question, you can just go ask the Gegi using your line or other teams using line if you have any questions. So I'm so sorry, but we have to move on now. So next is the next policy from Lisa team. Can you please explain about it?
So for the next policy is to renovate the gym's bathroom. Using the gym is something that is like หลีกเลี่ยงไม่ได้ because like even though if you are not the athlete, you still need PE classes, right? And as we know that there are a huge number of students and teachers along the various schools joining sport activities at MUIDS, such as for ISA competition. So shampoo, soap, Hair conditioner, towels, and new lockers are essential for a convenient and hygienic bathroom. So with the renovated bathroom, MUIDS and students and teachers will not only experience a clean and convenient bathroom, but can create a favorable reputation for school and be able to even support more about sports activities and students' hygiene.
I saw one person raise her hand. Okay, her name is Bobby, but I'm not sure is her name is Bobby, but you can unmute your microphone now.
I want to ask like about like it's not. I think it's not like the solution to solve like right away because it might need to waste like a lot of money for school. Like, for example, if you say that you like give out like the soap or shampoo or conditioner, I think you might have to like buy it again like every day because maybe it will be like dirty too if a lot of people use it, right? And like can you imagine like using like the same bottle of soap with other different people in the same bathroom, and also like if you don't, and you have to like buy it all the time like throughout the semester, isn't it like waste the school?
Have you ever went to the gym and they have like the gym bedroom? Like they're going to be like a big place where like you can like push to get it. So it doesn't a bottle, and buying a soap or shampoo in the like big container. Can you imagine it? Is not that expensive compared to the hygiene of the students, right? And you say that it's going to use a lot of budget, but renovate that I mean like just make it better. I didn't mean like I have to smash all of the gym's bathroom and create a new one, right? So it doesn't use that time. Renovate in this term, I mean like which one is like is good, I will keep it. But if there are any mistakes or like weaknesses in the bathroom, I'm going to fix it to make it better. Yeah.
I have a question. But not all the students use the shower. So
Yeah, I know like not all the students use the shower, but as I just mentioned, that the students still use the gym bathroom, right? In the gym's renovation, I didn't mean just like the place where you shower. I mean the overall of it. There might be the lockers, and in the future we might do some like survey asking the students about their opinion or what we should fix next. Yeah.
okay, so how exactly many students are going actually use the locker? Most of the people I saw just put their stuff on the chair, on the floor, or on the sink. They didn't even use the locker.
That's the point, right? Because there aren't enough room for the locker. You say that we have to put stuff on the floor, share, and it's not hygienic. You know, like for many people step on it. Is it okay for you to put your white uniform on the floor? I think it's not necessary. If you say that not many students use the locker, I don't agree with you because every time I use the school's locker, it's not enough. I mean, like the gym's locker, it's already like in full.
Really? That's all the locker filled up with all your stuff with in one section or two sections?
No, there are
I,
like
I
more. Sorry. Can you can
no,
continue?
it's okay.
Okay.
You continue.
In one okay, sorry. In one period, there's not just my section. There's many sections attending PE class.
Yeah, I know that, and I saw lots of people who would like to put their stuff outside of the washroom, like beside the walls in the gym. It's easier for them when they walk out or something like that. They don't have to use the locker or the places in the bathroom.
But
And also, some people would prefer to put their stuff on the chair and the shelves instead of the locker. So it's
still,
not
still,
good to.
there are many complaints from the students that lockers are filled, and I already experienced it by myself. I don't know about you because you said that there aren't that many students using the school's locker. But according for me, my friends, the MUIDS 08, the seniors, they already all of them complaints, including my teacher. I asked them for their comments about these policies, and they all agree that there are lockers problems. I don't know about you, but the majority students in MUIDS face this problem. Yeah.
Okay, so I have another question which is the budget. So wouldn't it be better of giving the budget to student government to operate the work instead of renovating the gym's bathroom that isn't that bad?
You using the word bad on gym's renovation, but for me, in my opinion, I didn't consider it as bad because gym renovation doesn't occur like often every month or every week. It's occur rarely. I mean, like it might be 5 years, 10 years again. I don't know. It depends on the school. And for the budget, have you guys ever questioned about the budget that we lost during COVID-19? Think about the utilities costs that we missed. In the huge buildings like MUIDS, you think about the cost of utilities. It's at least 30,000 baht per month. I mean, like at least. You multiply with 5 months that we missed. That's a lot of money, right? And the events that we missed, I mean, like Lapno, International Days, with a Week Without Walls, Sport Day. Where does the budget go? Can you answer it?
So if they actually have the budget for renovating the gym's bathroom, how about the budget for student government itself to do the work, like Christmas, Halloween? So if we already have that budget, why didn't the school give that to student government? The
Okay.
previous year of student government, they have to use their own money on buying things.
You know, like
Stuff
management budget. So yeah, I think good student council needs a good abilities of managing the budget. And I think my team have that ability. I don't know what you guys think, but you know, every organization, they will manage their budget for renovating their organization. Same as our school. Our school have that budget.
How about they share it with some budget with student government to do the work too? Because last year, student government start the budget with 0, and sometimes it just go to negative because they have to use their own money. I was the student advisor and I saw that problem, and it cannot fix because the school didn't provide any help for the budget.
Yeah, so I will talk to the school. I will write a proposal asking the school for the budget. As I just mentioned, I will question about the budget that we lost during COVID-19 and the school's budget for renovating the gym. Like, as I just mentioned earlier, that every organization have a budget for renovation. And I think this is reasonable policies for the schools to give a budget on, because it can create a better reputation and hygienic and convenient gym's bedroom, right?
In the worst case, what if the school don't give you the budget? What would you do?
In the worst case, I would make some sort of Google form, similar to the change.org, but it's going to be in the form of Google form for the students to sign in whether they agree with my policy or not. I'm going to face a maximum of like 300-400 students, depends on the situation. And if the school sees that many students give an interest in this policy. Why won't they give the budget to us, right?
Okay, it's kind of like a petition that Japan did, right? That signing up about like who's agree with these policies and do it, right?
Don't want to
some
be
kind.
rude, but you are talking about my team. I don't want you to like mention our team.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I have a question. Yes, as you say that you have a towel, right? I want to know that how you can clean the used towel and who will clean it.
Yeah, so it's the best job to do it, but also like the cleaning clothes and towels. Our school have like it's one of the main job because they have to clean like the rack or like can you remember like the sport shirt with the numbers at the back? They have to like suck it like wash it oftenly, so it's just like yeah, job for them to like wash the towel.
Do you think it will decrease their work?
You mean increase, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I think it might increase their work, but I think not all students use the towel. Like many of them might. I think many of them will bring the towel, their own towel, and we will have a schedule for them. In my opinion, I want like to change the towel like 3 days or 1 week, but it's depend on the school whether they want to like watch it every week or every day or whatsoever.
Okay, thank you.
We almost run out of time now, but I saw one person that raised hand for a long time, so I'm gonna allow you. So Bam_M, you can unmute your microphone now. And it's gonna be the last person that I will allow to talk this round. So I'm sorry for the other two persons.
Okay, so Lisa, can you hear me?
Yes.
So you said that you are concerned of student hygiene. So instead of renovating the gym bathroom, would it be better for the school to fix the time schedule to provide students with time to shower, like really shower after a PE class?
So if you're talking about a schedule, how would you deal with the school's hour, right? So you know that different classes have different schedule, and how would you manage with those schedule?
That's the problem that you need to solve because you're going to be the student government. You're the candidate. You have to solve this problem.
Okay, so I'm not agree with changing the schedule because it would affect the school's hour. But I think renovating the gyms is the best solution. They already have like time, such as in the morning, during break, lunch, or after school.
How about after the PE class? That's a time when we're the most dirtiest. We're like dirtiest that time.
Okay, I understand. So okay, almost all or like 99% of the PE teacher will let us like go change clothes like earlier than the time that class end. So I think it's enough time for them to take a shower.
So wouldn't it be better to fix the schedule instead of renovating the bathroom?
As I mentioned, it's affecting the school schedule and school's hour. Also, if I change the schedule, do you mean that I have to decrease the class hour or the students have to end late, right? Can you solve this problem?
Again, you cannot ask me about this because I'm not the one who solved the problem.
No, I say that I don't agree with changing the schedule because we have to it's need to affect with the school's hour. Yeah, so I think it's might be disadvantage more than advantages of changing school schedule.
But as you said, hygiene is the priority, right? So
Yeah, but
yeah, you can move on.
okay, as I just mentioned, hygiene is the priority, right? I accept that, but as I just mentioned earlier, that the teacher already let us have extra time before PE classes in to take a shower and changing clothes. I think that time is enough, and we have extra time during the period to change clothes and take a shower. I think that's enough. We don't have to deal with any schedule.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Okay, so we have to move on to another team now, which is Resonate. Can you please introduce your third policies?
Our third policy is exam preparation club. We create this because of to support students who need to take the SAT exam, IELTS, or BMAT. So this will let the student use their free time after school productively. Yeah, and this will have one teacher and also one teacher per group, and also have one teacher assistant. So the student who come to be a teacher will get the community service, and the person who come and learn will get learner development hours. Yes, and for the teacher we will interview them for SAT and IELTS. Will look for their score, interview, and let them try to teach us. But for BMAT, we will have a mock exam and tutor session. Because but for BMAT, most of people will have the score when they grade 11 or grade 12. Yes.
Okay, Lisa, you have a question, right? You can unmute your phone.
I heard that Mr. Non already made a project planning about BMAT club and tutoring club already.
So if we are a student government, we think we can collab with Mr. Non. Yes, we also have a mock exam to support them too. Yes, I think if we are a student government, we can collab with him.
And you said that letting the students teach other right. Did you think that it would be that effective?
I think yes, because this might be like a tutor session, something kind of like that. I think it will just we review for each other. Yes, I think it's kind of good. Like when you have a core exam, you review it with your friends, right? A lot of you.
Okay, so how can you deal with a situation where the tutor and the students know each other already and they make some deal for the tutor to get the certificate and hour?
Pardon again, please.
So how would you deal with the situation where the tutor and students know each other and they make some deal for the tutor to get the hour and certificate by not teaching the students?
In this case, we are a TA or a teacher assistant, so we can look for this. Yes.
Okay, so there would be teachers helping this part, right?
Yes.
And what will the teacher get in return from the school?
Wait, sorry, can what you question
Like
before?
what will the teacher get in return from the school? I mean, like did they get like bonus or anything?
Sorry, can I edit the information that I say that the teachers will include in this part? The teacher is not come to be a part of this club, but we really want to do this.
Okay, so you use the word the students as a teacher assistant, but you say that the teacher won't be a part. Did I
Like
understand?
the teachers who like the teachers in this case mean a student who come to
Uh,
like this.
oh, okay. So in this term, you mean like the students will become a teacher. Am I understanding it correct?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So are you sure that students controlling each other going to be that effective?
I think yes, because as we say that we every student government we will come to and see it, yeah, and look like yeah, something like that. We come to check every time that they have a club.
Okay, last one. Okay,
Yeah.
so I have to admit that before, like before that, my group really interested in this policy. But after we have a discussion with Miss May, I noticed that 2 years ago there was that SAT chemistry club, and the school canceled that club because they think that 7 periods is enough for academic related. So after school, the students should focus more on something rather than academic stuff, such as playing sport, dancing, or enjoy like joining other club. What will you do to talk with the school?
I think the reason why we create this club is like it is a student choice. We did not like force them to come and do something like this. Student can choose that they will come or not. Like we didn't force them. It is up to the interest. Yeah.
Okay, so we have 3 participants who raised their hands. So I think I'm gonna let you guys to ask question, but you have only to like you can ask only 2 questions most because it's gonna like it's gonna make the times like too long. Yes. Oh, it's now 2. So but I will still limit for only 2 questions per person. Okay, right? So first date, I will unmute your microphone. You can speak now.
Hello. So I heard someone talk about Mr. Nun, but Mr. Nun will not work here after this June. So
The Lisa said that Mr. Nun have an idea for this club, but first of all, our policy is not related to Mr. Nun. Yeah, but as Lisa said that Mr. Nun have the club like this too. Yeah, so I said that if Mr. Nun have, we will collab with him. Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Okay, next is sorry. Okay, next is B_ABY. You can unmute your microphone now.
Okay, so hi, I'm Baby. So I have a question for you, Grace. So as Lisa mentioned about Mr. Non-peer tutoring, I want to know like the difference between your and like Mr. Non-peer tutoring, you know? Like, is there any different or it's just like the same? Like you're going to like collab with him anyways if like this project continues?
I think this is kind of, yeah, but this is a group study. Okay, like peer tutoring is like one-on-one, right? And I have hour for them too. I think peer tutoring is too hard to get an hour. Like the student and teachers, like I have um request a form for tutoring, but I don't have a student. So I think that this will be answers the problems that don't have the students for the teachers, like because of this is group too, and we have a mock exam. So I think that having a mock exam is kind of like the better one and unique.
Okay, so this is more like a club more than like
Yes, this is a club rather than like tutor.
thank you.
Okay, so now move on to Gigi. What's your next policy?
So our fourth policy is sorry, career day version 2. As we all sorry, as we all know that experience and practice are as crucial as textbook knowledge. In this career day version 2, there will be an expedition held for each field of knowledge to make the students have a better understanding in each field, such as medical, art, business, computer science, and film. This will provide a great opportunities for students who find a passion and interest if they do not know what they would like to major in, or to help solidify their suspicions of the possible career.
Okay, so are there any questions for this? Okay, Lisa, go on.
Okay, so the career day, there are a lot of courses, right? Like I used to do an internship at Ramatibodi Hospital before. There are transportation costs, and it's about 800 baht per day. So should the student pay an additional fees for the career day, or is it included as one of the student's facilities?
So for career day version 2, you don't have to pay any money more than the original, your tuition fee, because we are choosing places that are free to go to, such as the medical field. You can go to Mahidol University to see Ajahn Yai. I don't know what to call it in English. And if it's like art, you can go to Mokha Museum, which is Museum of Contemporary Art, which all these, they are all free.
Okay, you're saying that it is included in your tuition fee, but yeah, well, Mocha, there's you have to pay before you enter in, and in doing internship in hospital. I done many places and there are costs and it's expensive. If you're saying that it is included in the tuition fee, and for example, if I didn't interested in any faculties that you are or field that you are included in career day, that's mean that I didn't use that budget from my tuition fee, right? Can I get that budget back?
So first of all, it's not another internship. It's just a field trip and go on site to see things about that career or that fields that related. It's not internship that you have to pay. The places that we are provided for you guys are free and you don't have to pay for going into it. And about the budget, can you repeat your question?
So as I just mentioned for the budget, okay, so you said that you're going to make it free, right? But how is that free thing possible because you have to pay for transportation, right? And for like, there's going to be many costs for sure. I can guarantee that. And as I just said that if your career day, for example, if your career day just including dentist, medical, art, and if I am interested in engineering, and there is no career day that related to engineer, that means that I didn't use my tuition free like wisely, or I didn't use the budget that included in tuition free that related to career day. Did you understand me? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
but there are museum and places that you can go for free. You don't have to pay.
I mean, like the
And for the budget,
transportation.
yes, that for when I was in grade 10, there was a small field trip in biology class, and that was free too. We went into the Mahidol University, and inside there are lots of things we can learn about biology, and that's free. We don't have to pay anything about it. And also in business class, I think they went to something, the Bank of Thailand or something, and it was free too. They don't have to pay anything for that. So it's just the same thing as this.
Yeah, and I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, for like an internship, the student per group is like 1 to 5 students. Like it's cannot possible like in our capstone. And how about Korea Day? It have a lot of student there. How can you deal with it? And also like in COVID-19 situation, how can you deal with it?
Can you specify your question like into one sentence? Put it.
Okay, like in COVID-19, it's hard to do the like the activities in a large group, right? And in Korea Day, I think that there might be a lot of students, right? So how you deal with it?
But this is just a suggestion for school, because usually each year we usually have career day that will invite an instructor to talk about occupations or stuff like that. And this is version 2, which is adapt from the original one. It's more enjoyable and get more experiences than just listen to the instructor in the auditorium. It just adapt from the original one, and if the COVID situation don't get better, it might be difficult to do, but if it's getting better, it's possible to do that.
And also I have a question. Can you list the place that is free and can support a large group of students?
Yes, of course. You can take notes down, okay? For art, it's MOCA, Museum of Contemporary Art. You taking note down, right? Okay. And for business, it's Set and Bot, just like when I was in grade 10, that the school told us to Set and Bot, SET and BOT. And for medicine, we can go to Silila Museum or Ban Mo Wan Museum. It's Thai medical one. For computer science, we can go to NSM. It's พิพิธภัณฑ์เทคโนโลยีสารสนเทศ or พวช. For film, it will be Film Thai Museum. And many others more for places that we can go to, and this is a place for each field that we are talking about.
excuse me for interruption. Can you check on the comment box? I already put a price for entering Mokha.
Okay, so if there's no chance, yeah, we should move on. Okay, Lisa, tell
You can go to host to if you want to.
Okay, for my next policies is the student loan and funding. So as I just mentioned, I want the MUIDS to be comfort zone for every student. And making MUIDS to be a comfort zone, we have to support the students' interests and talents. So MUIDS should support by offering funds to students' activities. Okay, so the process of getting students loan is students are required to construct a proposal form, and activities that are considered to be eligible are for student loans are research, experiments, competition, and whatever, and many more. The selected project will be supported with the maximum budget of 2,000 baht. And in addition, before every team withdrawing the money, they have to give the evidence of purchases the money first. Okay.
Okay,
That's
there's
all.
one question from Bobby, which I can unmute your mic right now.
Okay. I think like most. Oh, sorry. Just a second. I think most of like the policies of พักใจกับเรา is like kind of like use a lot of budget, right? And for this one also use budget, and I think like it's not only one group of students who want like 2,000 baht. I think it's kind of like in one semester you also have a lot of projects, and also there are a lot of sections in the school too, and maybe 2,000 baht for each group, and maybe like each group also like have their own reason. That is good too, right? I think, isn't it like two ways of money for that? For yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I already think about that problems. So there would be requirements. The school didn't like approve the budget easily. There would be requirement for sure. I didn't talk with the school yet, but for what I think, the school have to make sure that the students have a clear perspective about that project. I mean, if the schools ask some question about their project, whether what is the purpose of the project, what are the materials that are needed for the project, and or whatsoever what is their abstract, they have to answer the school's question immediately and clearly to make sure that the students really understand the process, and to make sure that this project going to turn out well. So I want to give out my own experience. Like if the students are doing the project or activities, it's like some sort of making a good make a fame and good reputation for the school. Like I used to do a work named Asa Station, and there's one campaign that we are giving free alcohol gel at Siam. While we are doing that project, we are wearing MUIDS uniform. Yeah, and there's a lot of adults there asking us what schools we come from, and they like show us a lot. I think supporting the students are like building a good reputation for the school. It's like a win-win situation where the students can make their portfolio and support their talents and interests. At the same time, the schools can like promote themselves and make a good reputation.
Another question, like if you say you will like look at the process like in detail, do you limit numbers of students who would like to request for the funding?
I already think about the limit, but in this part, I have to talk to the school later. Yeah, but for the funding, I think they will have a fun because can you guys remember the biology project where we make the cell project, where every team going to have 1,000 baht as a budget from the school. You know, like the school didn't give free money to us. We need a lot of evidence to withdraw the money from the school, right? And 1,000 baht per team, multiple with the amount of teams in our grade is a lot. I think having fun for supporting students' activities are possible.
Then isn't it another schoolwork for giving fund for students to do organizations or stuff like that?
As I just mentioned, like it's a win-win situation, but such as me, I'm doing a lot of activities. I think it's not the school work that much work for the school because like when I do activities, I already ask help from my counselor or maybe like my own teacher. So and they are willing to give and help and put a hand on my project. So I think it's not that much work for them. And as I just mentioned, the school also benefits with this policy too.
Okay, so where you get the money? Because your policy seems to use lots of money, not just this one. The school
Yeah, so
have enough money to provide you all of it.
it's the support, as I just mentioned, like this, sorry, as I just mentioned, the sales project that the school are having budget for grade 10 students. And how about grade 11 and grade 12, right? Yeah, I think they still have budget for it. I think it's possible because they didn't give like free money. We have strict requirements.
Okay.
Yeah, let's move on to Grace fourth policy.
Okay, for the policies like create a workshop every two months. So we'll ask for the senior from the faculty or major that to come as an advisor, like and come to teach. Sometimes it will be asked to go to and research information and tell them about the details and let them try it. Yeah, so this can be put into their portfolio. They can get learner development hours and they will get certificate. It's sure that it will have a payment. Yes. But we'll ask from a student, but we'll try to not higher than 100.
Okay, Lisa, go on.
So workshop you will organize it every 2 months, right? Or every 1 month, I'm not sure. Okay, so what system would you choose to like which faculties would you organize the workshop?
All we'll try to our best to try to do as many as possible.
But you said that the workshop will be like in 1 month per workshop or maybe 2 months, right?
2 months, yes.
Yeah,
Like
and how would be that much?
we'll try to do a variety of things that something like that.
Okay, and the last question, I would ask, what is the maximum numbers of students who can participate in this event? Because of the COVID-19?
Like not more than 20.
Okay, interesting.
Okay, thank you. Let's wrap up a little bit. Okay, Gigi, your last policy. Go on.
Okay, so our last policy is exam absences. So you guys don't know that we have mandatory tests such as IELTS, SAT, and BMAT that are needed for each and every student's university application. Yet the school just demanding it that these tests are seen as only absences and not exempted absences. So an absence in our school's perspective is usually regarded to students not coming to school for no good reason. But these tests are perfectly good and rational reasons for the students to not come to the school. And by seeing these inevitable assessments and as normal absences, the school is grouping students for students who are not attending the school due to their educational needs with the same students that truly have no reason for not coming to the school. So we seeing this and want to change it from normal absences into exempted absences.
Okay.
For MUIDS to be supportive in all aspects of students' life, including the examinations.
Okay, Lisa.
Okay, this one is a very good policy because I'm one of the students who attend BMAT test, and BMAT test is on November 4th, and I already talked to the student service, and they give me absent with excuse. According to my power school, here's absent with excuses from November 4th. That means that what is the difference between the school system that we already have and your policy?
This one, it's not affect the attendance like absences. Your excuse absence does it affect your attendance?
It doesn't affect me at all.
Okay, so for these policies, we also help with the extracurricular activities or the competitions that some student would join outside of the school. They would get absence instead of exam. It will help with their attendance as well, not just the test that, including BMATs, SAT, and IELTS.
Okay, so I would like to ask the last question about your promoting in your Instagram account and you're promoting in line. So for this one, I don't know if you can see it. You mentioned SAT and IELTS, but SAT happen every Saturday. It's happened on Saturday, and IELTS we have like Saturday and Sunday. The way that you use these two tests to promote your policy, are you informing mistakes or like wrong information to the students in MUIDS?
You mean like, did we inform it like indirectly that a MUIDS student is not attending the school with no good reason, right?
The way I mean that you include SAT and IELTS in your promoting poster or something, but and you mentioned about the absence, but how would the absence affect the SAT and IELTS, because SAT is on Saturday and IELTS is on Saturday and Sunday, right?
IELTS also on normal days too.
But how about SAT?
SAT we just like provided for some of the tests that students need to take in order for university applications. So
yeah, but how SAT like, are affecting the absences and school schedule, our power school and like the absences, because it's on like weekend.
So some students miss school because they want to read or review for the SAT, and it's not a good reason for absence, but we just like wrap up for the test that student needs to take for university applications.
So if you're talking about SAT, that if you have like 1 days with like if SAT are on Saturday, and you want one extra day which is Friday, and the student will have like skills with skills or whatever your policy are mentioned. Have you ever concerned about the lazy students who will use your policies as like a kho ang for being lazy and skip the school?
We can check it on. We can let the school check on the test center or like the admission.
How could the school check with the test center? Okay.
They can call them.
Oh, that's going to be complicated. Because you know that if there's a lot of students taking SAT, there are going to be like hundreds of students. I think it's too much work for the school to asking the college board, because they have to ask each test center, such as Kirapat, Harrow, Shrewsbury. That's going to be a lot of work for the school. Or five of you going to.
There's a test paper saying that you are like in this test, and you're what date are you going to go to the test center and where you go.
But you just mentioned that you're going to call to the college board.
It's one of the ways that you can do, or you can check on the paper too.
Okay.
Okay, so we have one person who raised her hand, so I'm gonna ask you to unmute. But before I allow you to unmute, I just want to say that everyone keep calm, okay? Okay, right? And please let the other person finish talking first, because before you start to talk, okay? That's it. And keep calm, okay? Okay, I will let P. to unmute your microphone.
Hi. I just want to ask, because like, for instance, it's only one test, for instance, BMAT, or like only one competition, I think it wouldn't affect the student that much if they have the evidence that they are really going to a test. I also get an excuse absent as well, because I have to go to a BMAT session. So it didn't really affect my grade. And with that,
so
okay, you can continue.
So, for example, using Aiko as an example, she go abroad and has a competition at Australia, and she got tons of absences in her attendance, and it affects her grades a lot. We are like cover all aspects of people who do extracurricular activities, such as Aiko, who will go abroad and miss school for a whole week. And we cover with SAT and IELTS, because maybe in the future there will be tests during the weekdays. Who knows?
You have okay. So the last one who raised his hand is Boon. So I'm gonna unmute your mic now.
So you said that the school have the responsibility to take to like check for the ticket, right? So isn't it so your policy will give more like works for the school, isn't it?
So it's just checking on students, like the students should show the school their own test paper that by solve. Yes, to confirm to the school, because it's their own attendance, not the school. The school should not like running for students who don't care their attendance.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, there's no one who raised hand, so we're gonna move on to next policies from Pak Chai Kabral. This is the last one, right? Yeah,
It's the last one.
yeah, you can.
So for this one is the fan installation. So I already asked my team members and my many of my friends and my alumni about their lunch, and they said there are many complaints about the hot waiter during they eat the outdoor cafeteria. So we think that the fan installation are necessary. Besides eating lunch outside, there are many activities such as sports, doing group work, and etc. Then we think that to create an enjoyable lunchtime and creating a better atmosphere for students, I think fan installation is the best solution. Besides of the hot waiter, I concerned that it's can create a new living area for students. As I just mentioned about hot waiter, so you know that our library have faced some problem where the librarians have to shout out for the students to be quiet, and it is overpopulated. The the true problem of this one is mainly because of our school don't have like living area where students can get like nice weather or like cool down, so they have to crowd it at the library. And the purpose of having library is the places for students to study and reading books, not chit-chatting or being one of the living area. So besides helping the students have an enjoyable lunch, it can create a new living area for the students too.
Okay, so we have one participant raise her hand, so I'm gonna unmute your microphone.
I really like this idea because like sometimes in the cafeteria there is air conditioner, right? But like sometimes the teacher like just let me go away. So we have to go to library. But I think like for the 5 policies that you mentioned, most of them use the budget of school, and like especially like for the gym renovation, it doesn't like you put money in there and boom, like solution solved, something like that, but you have to like pay like continuously. And for this one you also have to pay for the fans again. So I want to know, like, do you think like the budget is enough for this yeah for this?
Okay, sorry. I have to admit that the budget is one of obstacles for our team, but for me this is a very big problem. It affects the lifestyle and the quality of like living for students in MUIDS in the school. And as we know that the number of students increase every year, and as just mentioned about living area, would it be enough for every student, especially for the 09? Yeah, and I think it's not fair for the students who are taking lunch outdoor, because students who are taking lunch in the cafeteria, they will have the aircon. But why would they have to like eating lunch in the hot weather like that, right?
Are you considering about like the cost of the fans, or like how many locations would you put the fans like at?
Can you repeat that question again, please? Excuse me.
I mean, like, do you consider about the cost of the fans, and like how many locations would you install?
Okay, so I already have done some research about the cost. So for my research, the fan that installing at the ceiling is about like one start from 1,200 baht to like 2,000 baht. And as we know that the fan that are installed at the ceiling, it can rotate 360. So we don't have to like install that much fans. And compared to the price, I think it's reasonable if we spend this budget on. And as we know, like if we buy a good quality fan, I think we can use it for a long period.
I have a question.
Yes.
So installing fans, will it just increase our tuition fee because it uses lots of money, including other two policies as well?
So as I just mentioned about the budget, but I can repeat it again. So have you ever questioned about the utilities that we didn't use and other facilities and events that we missed during COVID-19? I mean, like utilities in a huge building like that, it's going to be a lot of money. I mean, like at the lowest cost of about 30,000 baht, which is going to be much more than that. And time 5 months that we missed, it's a lot, right? And how about other events that we miss? We can use this budget for installing fans. And also, as I just mentioned, every organization will manage the budget for renovation. And I think these policies are reasonable enough for a school to give the budget for us.
Okay.
So yeah, if there's no further question, so we move on to Grace. Okay.
Okay, for the last one is comfortable school uniform. To make the student more comfortable, we will not make them only comfortable for their mental but also physical, so they can wear whatever they want, like skirt, pants, shorts, something like that. And this can increase race awareness in our society too. If we ask student government, we will talk with the director of the school and we will talk with the university too. So we will not only wait for them, but we'll try to find a way along with them to make it possible. Yes.
Any question on this?
This is gender equality policies, right? My internet was bad, so I didn't hear it clearly.
This is like comfortable school uniform.
Like wearing pants to the school, something like that, or what?
Yes, like wear the things that they want to wear to make them comfortable.
Okay, so same question with Lisa. With what I asked Lisa, there's no rules of limiting the uniform. So why don't you just encourage people to wear anything they want instead of making a policy of it?
Sorry, can you like ask again?
So there's no rules saying that we can't wear pants or skirts that we want in any gender. So why don't you just encourage people to see this thing instead of making it a policy? Because we can make other policies that more benefit to the school.
Like this, there's the rule since you enter the school if you are a girl that you need to wear skirts. You are forced to buy a skirt school uniform is still necessary, but we want to increase the confidence of the student too.
Is there actually a rule saying that you should wear a skirt if you're a girl?
I think it is not a rule, but it's the things that must do in the school since we enter the school, right?
Okay.
Lisa, I have a question, right?
Okay, I want to add on. I really like Grace's policy about the transgender uniform. And I agree with Grace to make it as a policy because policies are more reliable than just saying out, right? Like, how can we prove if the information that you inform are reliable if it's not the school regulations, right? And there's no school in Thailand that have the regulation, the like official regulation where gender uniform are allowed in Thailand yet. If this policy were possible, it's going to make a huge impact out in our school. Think about the positive feedbacks that we're going to have back from the social medias and many more.
You are saying that it's reliable if it's not school regulation, right? So
I said that it will be reliable if it is the school regulation.
So it's indirectly mean that it would be unreliable if it's not school regulation. So
okay,
if you are the
sorry.
if you are the one who inform information to the student in line group, are you saying that yourself are not reliable?
I didn't mean that I'm not reliable. I didn't mention that. But think about the student's perspective that you are just reading information for the line group. You know that line group, there's there's will be like unreliable like source. And think about the students who don't know me at all. And neutral gender uniform is very rare in Thailand. That there's never happened in Thailand before. If suddenly I just type in the line group that neutral gender uniform is allowed in our school, compared with the school giving the policies about the neutral gender uniform, which one would be more reliable, right? I didn't say that I'm not reliable, but based on someone's perspective that didn't know me before.
So if you get elected, your student government, everyone should know you, and they should know that you're reliable and that everything you type, it's reliable and you can believe in what you or your group is saying. So you're the representative of the school too. If you're student government, you just taking school information and pass it on to line group. So what's the difference of saying that you are not reliable as you are representative of the school?
It doesn't mean about that, but I mean like it's more reliable. It's more, like more. I didn't mean that if I inform in the line group, I'm not reliable, but I said more is much. Yeah, if it's school regulation and it's written down in the school handbook, if the parents or the students read the student's handbook before they are entering MUIDS, they can know the fact that, hey, gender uniform is official in this school. But if I just type in the line group, and if nobody read my line messages, or if they didn't join that group before I write the message down, how would they know about these ideas in school, right?
Okay, I'll leave it at that. Okay.
Okay, I think there is no question from anyone left. So I think we should end this debate right now because we're so late. And so thank you guys for coming to this debate, and also everyone who joined it debate and asked participant question. And if you want to know more about these policies, just line chat to them. Yeah. Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye. Good luck ครับ
Yeah, and good luck now, every team.